Hello everyone. It's James again. And today I want to talk about something very important. Or a thought process of the narcissist we need to look at in regards to our own abuse that we suffered. This thought process of the narcissist is quite simply. They know. No one will believe us if we ever tell them about this abuse. Because the things done to us seem like they are impossible. And then if you add on top of the fact the narcissist, if they are smart, will give out a false image of who they really are to those in society they deal with. Such as your friends. Some of their friends. Co-workers and so on. What some of us were and are still dealing with. Are true chameleons. They can make a certain group of people to think they can do no wrong. All the while subjecting their children, spouse or co-worker to emotional torture. You see, oftentimes narcissistic abuse will make the abused themselves question what's going on and their own sanity. Let's say your boss or co-worker mentions to you something they think you did wrong at work. Such as you made an error on a certain project. But in reality it seems like the error is being magnified to get you into trouble. You think, wow, what's going on here? Then the next day the same person that called out this error to make you look bad is now acting like your friend and offers you some homemade cookies along with others in the office. It will make you think, well, maybe they didn't intentionally try to make me look bad. Maybe they were just doing their job. And that's the type of benefit of doubt others at your workplace will give this person as well. They will think, this just has to be a misunderstanding. But with the narcissist there is no misunderstanding. All of this was done for a reason. Even the bringing of the cookies the next day. You see, the narcissist is always on task. Always on target. And they know. They have to get others on their side and to put confusion into the situation that just transpired. So they will make homemade cookies and bring them for everyone to change and influence how others see them. They might go out of their way to help someone in the work parking lot unload something out of their car and into the work building. All just to build up a good reputation. They are building up this good reputation all the while they are slowly and quietly ripping yours apart. So when you are finally realizing what's going on, no one will believe you and no one will help you. You are literally twisting in the wind. Narcissist will do this to your nearest and dearest friends as well. Then when you try to confide in them as to what's going on, you get this strange look like you are the bad guy. Keep in mind this can also happen if the narcissist has never spoke to this person. And the reason for this is, we as a culture make it almost illegal to have a problem with your mother and sometimes your father. Unless they are a convicted axe murderer. And the reason why I say sometimes father. We live in a society where we are told over and over. Fathers are deadbeats. Fathers always run away from their kids and their women. Fathers haven't and won't man up. So if you tell someone, my father was never there in my life and left when I was a kid. So forth and so on. People will believe that story. Or if you said, my father treated my mother and us children really abusively. They will believe that story. And they will give you that look of sympathy and understanding. However, if you say, you don't talk to your mother anymore, because she was emotionally abusive growing up, you will get raised eyebrows and a look of, what's your problem, buddy? No one is perfect. You need to just forgive your mother because we only have one mother. Have you ever heard that saying? You only have one mother. Well, anyways. This is something your narcissist knows will happen. They know they can do whatever they want to you. And society will look at you as if you have the problem, not them. It's the perfect crime for them to commit. Now you can find yourself in this same trouble if your father is a narcissist and people know him. And people know him to be a good, helpful guy. But if they don't know him and he never beat you or he wasn't on drugs, which some narcissist fathers and mothers have done. But not all. Many of them destroyed our lives through their words and manipulation. But if they don't know him, you stand a chance of having some people. Not all people. But some people understand a little bit. They won't understand the narcissism. But they might understand why you don't talk to him. And that's just society's conditioning. Social conditioning that children have bad relationships with their fathers and that's somehow normal. But I've talked to women before that have narcissist fathers. And they state if they try to tell this new person or friend more in their life regarding their abuse, they get the raised eyebrow look. As if to say, why don't you just forgive the guy? It sounds just like a big misunderstanding. And that's the goal of the narcissist. That's to disguise their abuse to others as one big misunderstanding. So you look like the jerk that's just complaining and doesn't know how to forgive your mother or your father, or your sister or your brother, or how to get along with a workmate or boss. That's when you start to question your own sanity. You scratch your head as if to say, did I get everything right? Maybe they have a point. Maybe I'm blowing this out of proportion. Maybe I've got the entire situation wrong. And this thought process is very dangerous. Because this is what will put you back in the line of fire. You will continue to hang out with this friend that is treating you this way. You will continue dealing with family members that are treating you this way. And you will continue to trust a workmate or boss as if they are honest people. Let me ask you a question. Have you noticed where certain people will transfer into one lateral position after another in a big company? And they say it's to gain more experience. However, the real reason they are making these switches and changes usually has to do with getting away from a toxic boss or workmate. They are going no contact. But they can't say anything about it because if they do they will be seen as a crybaby. And someone that has a problem. So they quietly find another position in the company and move along. And they might even talk very well about this narcissist boss and workmate at a going away gathering before they change departments. They might thank this narcissist boss or workmate for helping them on certain projects. And they do all of this because they know no one will believe the truth. They know no one will believe they are taking a lateral move to get away from the psycho in the office next to them that makes their work life a living hell. All the while fooling everyone else. Making others think they are a saint of all saints. This also goes for dealing with narcissist family members and parents. Have you ever wondered why people move out of state for low-paying jobs? I can see going to school out of state. But even then many that have narcissist families do use moving out of state for school as a way to get far from their toxic situation. But moving for a low-paying job is even more telling. This is where they know their narcissist has compromised all of their friends. And everyone is against them. No one will believe their side of the story. And there's no need to try anymore. So they leave. They leave town. Because they are tired of the funny looks they get when they go to the store. Because you are the man or woman that hates his family. Shame on you. But why won't you just stand up and assert yourself? Tell them what's going on. Because you know no one will believe you and it will make matters worse, that's why. And the narcissist in your life knows that. They enjoy the fact you are just squirming around with nowhere to run and nowhere to hide. Let me ask you this. Have you seen those psychological thriller movies? Where one person is made out to look crazy, while there's a character ruining their life and maybe even killing people. Yet everyone thinks the killer is as nice as apple pie. This type of treatment is exactly what's happening to us, the narcissist abuse victim. The problem is the average person that comes from a healthy home sees a movie like this and sees it as fantasy. That it was some wild creation of the movie producer or director. That things like this really don't happen. But to us it's a normal part of life. So we learn to tuck our tail between our legs and move along and not say anything because we won't be believed. And this is a hard pill to swallow. Because think about how much different things would have been if someone came to your rescue. Someone noticed the abuse and helped out. Or if you were able to tell someone and fix the problems you were having. You would feel validated, right? This is the main problem. We don't feel validated because those closest to us won't acknowledge what we went through as abuse. They might tell us to get over it, that we are making a big deal out of nothing. You never get validated. So what do? You stick it out with the narcissist, hoping they will somehow admit they are wrong to validate your pain and suffering, which also will never happen. And the narcissist knows this too. They know you need validation and you're not getting it. And they dangle it on a string to get you to chase it. Some narcissists as a game will get close to admitting guilt, then yank it away from you like a toy ball from a dog. And now two things start happening. The chase to get someone to validate your pain. And the more you do this, the more disappointed you get. So you start to shut down and pull away from society. You become scared to tell the truth about your situation, especially about your family, because you know no one will believe you. You might have even lied about your family. Which brings upon more guilt to you. Because you feel bad you lied to this nice person about your family. Hoping they don't find out you lied to them, because if they do, then you will be a known liar. All of this the narcissist that was or is abusing you knows. They play this game with you on purpose because they know all of these situations we've talked about you will be put in. And you will be squirming. You will be made to feel uncomfortable at every turn and corner. And they feed off of the pain you feel. So they can get the supply they're looking for. So what's the answer to this entire thing? How do you fix it? Well, quite simply, you don't fix the situation. You can only fix yourself. And you can only do that by removing yourself from the toxic situation. If it's your family, you might consider moving. You don't have to move out of state, but you might move far enough away in your own state so your friends won't overlap. That being said, some people do indeed move out of state. So it's an option to consider. If you're at work, keep your resume sharp and your finger on the pulse on other positions in your company you can do. So if you need to laterally move, you can. Or if you need to find another job, you can. I also think everyone should develop a small side business for themselves. It can be from tutoring math or teaching piano, to writing blogs on how to fix toilets, or making leather goods you can sell. By doing all of the above, it helps give you options so you can just walk away if you are dealing with a narcissist at work. Because confronting them, or trying to prove you are really the victim 9 times out of 10 will backfire to make you look like the bad guy or girl. Now this isn't to say you shouldn't keep good records at work as to what's going on. Because if you have enough leverage to be able to prove what's going on legally, I say by all means go for it. But you have to look at things rationally as well. If the waters are muddy and you are looking like the bad guy and the evidence is sketchy at best, and it's just your word against theirs, it's best to just leave or transfer. Fighting it and them will just damage your reputation even more. And if you've worked at a place for many years, you have to ask yourself, is it worth the fight? Or does it make sense to just leave to another department where you can start all over but keep your years of service to the company you are working for intact? Now, I did mention having a side business or income. Because if you work it enough, it can become a primary income. And many of those being narcissistically abused at work realize they don't need to be abused anymore and start to work for themselves. But again, they usually leave gracefully because they know if they raise a fuss, no one will believe them and it will be all for nothing. Here's what you need to understand. Despite all the gaslighting, lies and abuse, once you've come to the conclusion that you were narcissistically abused, that's all you need. Stop looking for your friends or onlookers to agree with you. I know it's hard, but the validation from these people in most cases won't be there. Now there are instances you might have a real understanding friend that has been through some of this before as well, so they get where you're coming from. But by and large, you will get the raised eyebrows from people you try to convince you were really being abused, not the other way around. You see, part of the healing is getting to a place in your life where you stop caring about what others think and you just move ahead and live your life. And you don't need others to validate your existence or whether you were abused or not. And the good news is we are all here now online. Though we aren't sitting in the same room together, we can and do validate each other's abuse every day. And I know it's not those directly involved in the abuse itself. But you will never get it from them. Nor those that are witnessing it. Because they don't even know what they are seeing is abuse to begin with. So how can they validate something they don't have familiarity with? The only way out of this horrible cycle of abuse and trying to get others to understand what's going on is to stop trying to prove things to others. Just stop. It's hurtful and it's hard, but the more you go on and on with someone that doesn't understand, the more you are going to postpone your healing and ability to meet good people. Now is the saying get over it? Not on your life. Because we'll never get over it. It will be with us forever. But we can heal. We can meet good people. We can walk away from people that we deem as toxic, so we can either enjoy our own company or we can meet someone else that's nice and understanding. And by moving forward like this, we are breaking free from the abuse of our narcissist. Because our narcissist knows what they are doing. I will say that again, the narcissist knows what they are doing. And they are getting off on the fact no one believes you. It's supply to these energy vampires. And the only way to stop giving them this supply is to get off of the ride, so to speak. You might have to walk away from good people that are compromised by the narcissist. Good people that just don't understand and that might never understand. But walking away, starting anew, is way better than spending a lifetime trying to convince people you aren't a horrible person that hates his mother or father, or sister or brother. Or you're not a professional at work that doesn't know how to get along with others. Sometimes it's best to take the high road and move on. Just simply move on. The longer you play the narcissist's game, the worse the game will get. And it's truly a game. Because this is a game this narcissist has played with others before you, and they have it perfected down to a science. They know exactly what they are doing to you. This crazy making that is happening to you is done by design, and it's not by mistake at all. Part of this knowledge is to gain the wisdom to walk away. Gaining this knowledge on the tricks and things the narcissists do are meaningless without wisdom of discernment. The wisdom on how to pick our battles and when taking the high road and walking away is a wise thing to do. Because remember this. The narcissist doesn't expect nor do they want you to do that. They want you to go into the gutter with them. They expect you to go into their territory. Territory where they thrive and excel. Don't fall for the trap. No matter how bad it hurts, someone doesn't believe you and that you were abused. Be wise as a serpent but as peaceful as a dove. Like I always say, knowledge is power. The more we know, the more we can live happy and healthy lives. Until next time. Bye for now. And be good to yourself.